I was told recently that of all the thousands of students that are in the Anchorage School District, only 35 have been actually identified as having a brain injury through their formal individualized education plan, an IEP. And what I can tell you from my own practice is that I've seen kids who have been in accidents, car accidents, ATV accidents, snow machining accidents, skiing, snowboarding, what have you. Bicycling is another big one. And when they return to school, there are multiple challenges. First and foremost is fatigue. You're typically very tired after you sustain this kind of injury, and you don't have the mental or physical capacity to sustain alertness or remain awake and attentive over the course of the entire day. So one thing teachers can look for is, why is a student who used to be functional in my classroom falling asleep constantly? Is there something going on with them that I'm not aware of? Another thing that will happen is that a kiddo who had been able to focus and concentrate at school will suddenly have bigger problems with inattentiveness, distractibility. They blurt things out in the classroom. They're not turning in their work. They had been an A or B student, and now their work comes in and it seems incomplete or incoherent, or it's just not as good quality as it had been before. And so now they're getting C's and D's even when they try. So these are students who are going to be failing. They're going to have fights with their friends. They're going to have fights with peers that they don't even know very well, which can lead to more problems, especially if they get into physical fights, because then you could have a second injury. They're going to have problems with anxiety and depression, and those will affect their day-to-day functioning at school. It's very important to recognize that a kiddo has sustained a traumatic brain injury and that they're going to need special accommodations in the academic setting to make sure that they can succeed for at least the rest of that academic year. They can potentially recover and rest over the summer and come back and maybe be fine the following year, but in the year that the event has occurred, we need to actually protect them from too much stress and pressure to perform at previous levels when they just can't do that. And it would be important for teachers to start looking for signs and symptoms of brain injury and attribute those problems to a brain injury rather than to being oppositional or negative or willful or whatever else one might think of.
We've had some really good teachers. We've had a really good experience with the majority of the teachers that we've worked with for William. But there's a few who I don't think can get past the symptoms of brain injury are actually not different from what they often face with teenage boys. There's a lot of fatigue, a lack of focus in class, a lack of ability for William's injury, and specifically his executive function, his ability to plan and organize was affected. So that meant it was hard for him to keep track of assignments and get things turned in on time. And a lot of these were things we dealt with William as a teenage boy anyway. They were just more aggravated or more exaggerated after the injury.